China is investing heavily in its small businesses, so why are we making it harder for ours to survive?
Yeah, and I yield to the gentleman from California.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Sorry, I had a briefing that I had to pop into and just got out in time and couldn't have my watch or anything or my phone or anything to let me know what time it was, so I am here now. So thank you all for being here today, and thanks for your time. And I guess I'm the last one here before we can all, you can all go. But so I'll be quick. Mr. Doshi, the 2026 National Defense Strategy and National Security Strategy have shifted our focus as it relates to China. The NDS places an implicit bet on outproducing China, but hardly mentions technology, as you laid it out in your testimony. China is prioritizing its small business, particularly in manufacturing and technology. How should Congress scale and invest in programs that boost American small business in manufacturing and technology?
Well, thank you very much, Congressman, for the opportunity to talk a little bit about that. My view is that the SBA has a number of tools. Some of them have lapsed and can be reauthorized, and some of them can be expanded. In many cases, a lot of those instruments that the SBA has can be packaged together to give small companies a one-stop shop so that they can get demand-side support, supply-side support, and regulatory support. But the key point I want to emphasize is this. China takes its small businesses very seriously as manufacturing competitors. It gives them enormous amounts of resources. It gives them patent support, expedited access to stock market listings, and it even forces the state companies and its government to buy from them. We're not going to replicate their system, but we have to put together a program that is not just individual projects and individual initiatives, but packaged together to make sure our companies are competitive.
All right, thank you. Now, you mentioned the SBA. So the SBA is creating barriers for many small businesses to access resources, such as changing eligibility for programs, threatening to pull offices from major metropolitan hubs, and withholding funds from programs and resources partners that support small businesses. Are these counterproductive to the investments we need to be making in our small business for the resilience on the global stage?
Congressman, I do worry that some of the current efforts are counterproductive. In particular, as we've discussed in this hearing, some of the key programs have lapsed or have been reauthorized, but that has not fully gone through within the administration. That can change quickly. We know that the president is committed to reindustrialization, so there may be a disconnect within his team, but it should be possible to make progress. As for offices closing that are part of the MEP program, that is disastrous. I mean, when those offices close, it can take a long time for them to staff back up. In the meantime, our companies lose important connections to the assistance that they need.
Thank you for that response. Mr. Lyons, you highlighted the lack of awareness and security by small businesses against cyber intrusion in your testimony. If a small business wanted to improve their cybersecurity, what federal education, legal, or technological resources are available to them?
Thank you, Congressman, for the question. I think that the SBA has a cyber program that allows small businesses to take advantage of some subsidized offerings there. I think that should be expanded. I think that CISA also puts out routinely updated information regarding how small businesses can protect themselves. A lot of this is free. A lot of this, I think their tax credits would help bolster defense and bolster awareness, but a lot of this is also out there on sites like CISA or the NCSC.
Guys, just one follow-up on that. I mean, the resources you said are free to be provided by CISA, SBA, but when it comes to the actual financial cost of having to fight this, how are small businesses able to keep it up, or can they?
Sir, they're not.
Yeah.
They simply, in conversations that we've had with numerous small businesses, oftentimes economic espionage is ignored because of the legal costs associated. I would point to my written testimony of a few examples, but also of some possible legislative initiatives that could change something like that.
So, Doshi, you're shaking your head yes. So I'll let you respond to that as well.
Thank you, Congressman. I just want to add one additional factor. When our companies are the victim of cyber espionage and they lose their IP, it goes to a Chinese manufacturer who then makes the same thing and sells it back to us, it should be easier for us to stop the importation of that infringed upon export. Right now, it's really hard. Those small companies have to hire lawyers. They have to go through a process. We should make it easier for our companies to protect their IP from foreign manufacturers that have taken it essentially illegally.
All right. Thank you all for your testimony. With that, I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. I now recognize Mr. Bresnan from the great state of Pennsylvania.
This exchange might sound technical at first, but if you really listen closely, it exposes a serious vulnerability in how America is competing globally, and it all comes down to whether we're actually supporting the backbone of our economy, small businesses. What the congressman is getting at here is something Democrats have been warning about for a long time. You can't talk about national security, economic strength, or global competition, especially with China, without talking about investment in American innovation. And that's where the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. China is not treating its small businesses as an afterthought. It's treating them as strategic assets. That means funding, support, fast-tracked patents, guaranteed demand, and coordinated national backing. In other words, a full system designed to help them win. Now, compare that to what we're hearing in this testimony. Programs that have lapsed, offices that are closing, barriers that are increasing instead of decreasing. That's not a strategy. That's fragmentation. And when you have fragmentation, you don't get competitiveness, you get confusion, delays, and missed opportunities. The expert makes a key point that often gets overlooked. It's not just about creating programs, it's about connecting them. Small businesses don't have time to navigate a maze of disconnected resources. They need a system that actually works together, something Democrats have consistently pushed for through coordinated economic policy. If this breakdown helped you see what's really happening beneath the surface of this hearing, share it with someone who cares about America's economic future. Stay informed, stay engaged, and keep pushing for policies that actually support innovation and protect American businesses, because that's how we build a stronger, more competitive future.